Hello, I'm Jason Stephenson and welcome to Tiny Daily Kick. I'm very happy to say that I'm more open to disappointing others now, and that I don't feel that same need to measure myself against what other people expect of me. I grew up believing that I couldn't disappoint anyone at any cost. What a terrible subconscious lesson to learn. And I must admit, I learnt that from my dad. My dad was a major people pleaser, especially when it came to business. And he operated his own business, a signwriting business. And he would please his customers well before he pleased Mum and the rest of the family. And I heard Mum and Dad get into these arguments and Mum's frustration. But I must admit at the time, I actually thought, oh no, that's Dad, that's his business. He's in the right. He must always put the customer first. But what was happening was Dad was internalizing, getting really frustrated and angry that he was doing these sorts of jobs or whatever it was that he had to do, and he wasn't happy. And so, of course, when it came to me, I put myself last all the time, even when it didn't feel right, until I was put in a position to run my own business and to be CEO of a company. Now, this is where things change, because as a company, you must make money. That's the CEO's job of a company, is to make money. And you have to get staff that work in alignment with that. Otherwise, the company doesn't exist. So what was happening was, as my company was moving on, I realized that I couldn't please everyone without damaging the organization. At the time, it was an online company. I was in Peterborough here. The company had massive debt, and the losses were growing daily by the thousands of dollars, every day ticking over. Now, I had 3 staff members working for me at the time, and I knew that I had to let them go. And it was very difficult for me. And so I put it off, and I just thought, no, we can. It was like this false hope, really. I knew that we couldn't make it, but I was just hoping, fingers crossed behind my back, not a good thing of CEO to do, I might add, but just hoping that things would change, when in reality, they weren't going to change. So I had to let them go. And really, we all breathed, I believe, a collective sigh. Because at the same time, the staff members, they were literally held hostage in a job where they weren't succeeding. It wasn't through their lack of trying or anything like that. They just weren't able to succeed with the tasks given. And I wasn't succeeding financially. The company wasn't succeeding. And so there was this sigh of relief for everyone. Of course, disappointment, I'm sure, but relief after the decision. There was a pressure that lifted for me, and I'm sure for them. And of course, I had to start again in a more simplified way and just start small again. But what I can see now upon this reflection is the moment that I started to trust my gut and to accept that this is not going to please everyone. This is the outcome, and that's a part of life. Not wanting to disappoint people, it's a really common human pattern. And for a lot of us, it is formed when we're very young through observation. And we carry it into our adulthood without ever even questioning it, probably mostly subconsciously. Many people grow up believing that setting boundaries makes them difficult or unkind, when really it's just a part of becoming emotionally honest. But when we try and avoid it, we take it on internally. It doesn't go away, and it can sometimes turn out to be anxiety, depression, or this quiet inner conflict that just goes on. And over time, it often makes things worse rather than better. So today's tiny daily kick is, when you feel a clear gut sense that something needs to be said, say it. Setting boundaries early can save you so much heartache later. And we've got to remember that we're not doing anything wrong by saying no. And yes, you might be hurting someone, but you're taking care of yourself. Until next time, I'm Jason Stephenson. Imagine boldly, then go out and live it.